This is the Aqua pen top experiment. It's a very interesting experiment. You're going to need just a few things for this. You need a pen top from a pen. Doesn't have to be an old pen, of course, it could be a brand new one. What I would recommend is make sure you have a pen top that has what we call a pocket clip on the side, a bit sticking down in other words. You need some blue tack or plasticine. I actually recommend blue tack. I think it's better for this experiment, but plasticine can work okay. Just I tend to use blue tack myself and it's easier to use, I think. You also need something. I'm going to use the end of this paintbrush to push inside. And you'll see what I'm going to do with that in a minute, and you may find something else more suitable for you to use. We're also going to need a bottle of water, which I've got over to my side here. We're going to bring that in a minute. But right now I want to show you how to make the gadget you need. So watch carefully. First of all, we need to block up the tiny hole that you normally have in the top of most modern pen lids. Sometimes you get one where there's no hole at all, and if you haven't got a hole, that's fine, don't worry about it. But if you have a hole, we must block it up. Now the way I'm going to suggest you do it, and I'm sure you can think of other ways, is take a tiny blob of blue tack. You only need a teeny weeny bit, okay? Roll it into a little ball between your fingers. Okay, and you'll see it really is tiny. Remember, all you've got to do is block that up. In fact, that could even be too big. We'll give it a go. Drop it in the pen lid, and then with the end of something thin, as you can see I'm using this paintbrush, you push it in, ram it down. Okay, now if I turn it around, if I do it from the other way, hopefully you'll see as I'm doing this, it should start appearing in the little hole. If I stop doing this in a minute, you'll see there's a bit of blueness appearing now. So that's a good sign. It means that we've pretty well blocked that hole very well. And I recommend doing it from the inside rather than putting a blob on the outside. You can test it one more time. It's not the best test, but it's a good sort of test to see if it's worked half well. It's by blowing it. And if no air comes out, you know you've blocked it up really well. Okay, so that's the first bit, pretty easy. Next thing we're going to do is we need to put some blue tack around the pocket clip itself. Okay, so I'm going to move that out of the way because I don't need that right now. Now I've got quite a lot here and I don't think I need anywhere near this amount, but putting too much on isn't a problem, and you'll see why when I show you. So I'm going to push it against the pocket clip, okay, and I'm going to wrap it around the back. So I want to make sure it stays well gripped. The important thing I will tell you straight away is you must not block up the lid completely. There must always be a little gap. It doesn't even have to be that big, but it's got to be a gap there. And that's really important in understanding how this works. So there's a clue for you straight away. That hole has to be there, some hole of some size. Now, I need to test this in some water to see if it can float. Here I have a jug of water, okay? And all I'm going to do is lower it gently into the water. I expect it will sink because I think it's going to be too heavy, but soon find out. Okay, so it's now sunk to the bottom, so I know it's too heavy. That's okay. Now I want you to take it out and remove some of the blue tack. Now you might think, well, why don't I just put on less blue tack to start? Well, if you've never made this before, you probably wouldn't know how much you need anyway. And it is actually better to remove blue tack rather than to add it. It's easier to remove it because sticking wet blue tack onto other wet blue tack sometimes doesn't work too well. Usually you can make it work, but it's just easier to do it this way around. Let's test it again. As you can see, still too heavy, so we need to remove a little bit more. I recommend doing this near a sink because you might spill a bit of water. You can even do it in the sink. You don't have to use a jug, you can use a washing up bowl or something like that. That's okay. Anything you can put some water in, and which you can fish your hands in and get it out if it sinks too deeply. Try this one. Not bad, but it's still sinking, so a little bit more. And you'll notice I'm only pulling off little bits at a time. Okay, and I'm collecting it here. I don't need all this stuff. I'm going to put it out of the way in a minute. I'm only holding on to it because I might accidentally pull off too much and need to stick a bit back on again. So keeping it in my hand is the best thing right for the moment. Test it again. Ooh, not bad. If you can see, I hope, it is actually floating, but I would like to make that stick out of the water a little bit more, just a tiny bit more. So I'm actually going to remove just a little bit more to see if it will stick out just a little bit higher out of the water. again. Better, but I want it up a tiny bit more. Now this is actually quite important, so you do want it sticking out of the water just a bit, just a few millimetres. Almost there, but I think you'll agree it doesn't take too long. And some of you might do this and get it right first time. Sometimes I do. Not bad, not bad, maybe one more tiny bit. And remember, if you're going to use other substances like say plasticine or modelling clay or modelling putty, they will probably weigh different amounts. And so even if you could remember exactly how much you've seen me put on here, it's likely using a different material, it will need different amounts to make it float. I'm happy with that, I think. So it's sticking out a few millimetres, and that's how I want you to get it to float. Okay, you've done that now. Don't need that. I'll finish with the blue tack. Don't need that anymore for the moment. I'm going to remove my jug, and I'm going to just put that onto the side. Try not to spill too much. Then I've got my bottle, which I've already filled with water. Now, you'll already see this is a very large bottle. This is a 2-litre bottle. And I've got my lid over here, because you do need the lid for the bottle. You can see I filled it right to the top. And all I'm going to do is gently put that in there, lower it in. Perfect. Remember, it's peeping out the top a little bit. Put the lid on again. Oops. And then screw it up nice and tight. Really important to do it nice and tight. Now, last thing I want you to do, I want you to put your hands around it, and as hard as you can, give it a really hard squeeze. So this is what you should have seen happen. So you give it a good grip, and with a good strong squeeze, squeeze. Let go again. Now I'm going to do it from the back, so maybe you'll see it a bit better. Squeeze. Let go again. Now look what happens if I squeeze harder. Now of course you can't see me squeezing harder because you can't see the force, but I am squeezing harder. Watch carefully. I don't know if you can see that, it went a bit faster. Let me do both hands. Watch again, I'm going to squeeze as hard as I can, really hard. Now what happens if I squeeze it more gently? So in other words, the harder you squeeze it, the faster it goes. So how does it work? Well, the amazing thing, first of all, is this gadget, or one very like it, of course, was made nearly 400 years ago by a really famous scientist and mathematician and philosopher and all-round genius called René Descartes. Now, he was the first one, as I say, as far as we know, to ever make one. That's not to say that someone didn't make it before him, but the records aren't there for anybody else. As far as we know, he was the first. It's called a Cartesian diver. A Cartesian diver. Named after him, actually, although you might think Cartesian isn't Descartes, but it's another way of talking about his name. Sometimes it's actually called Descartes diver, which is a bit clearer, and it's obvious now who it's named after. How does it work? Of course, you're squeezing the bottle, it goes down, you let go, it comes up. Now, of course, when you squeeze a bottle, you're using lots of force, and that force goes into the water and compresses it, the force goes inside. Now, the interesting thing is, when you try and squeeze a liquid into a smaller space, it doesn't work, not with your hands. The atoms and molecules in that water are already very tightly packed together, and you can't really squash them any closer very easily. So when I squeeze that water, it hasn't got anywhere to go, and the bottle's full up anyway, remember. But do you remember when we made the diver, there was a little tiny hole underneath? I said to you, leave a gap. Well, when you squeeze this bottle like this, the water gets squashed and the pressure builds up. The water can't go anywhere, but what it can actually do is flow up into that little pen lid, and it goes up in through that little hole that we left when we made it. Inside that pen lid right now is a little bubble of trapped air, a little pocket of air right at the top. If I bring it down a little bit, I can point it to there. It's in the top part of the pen lid. We can't see it, of course, because you can't see through this lid. But by the way, if you did make it using a pen lid you can see through, you will see the bubble, and that's actually worth doing, I think. So, we squeeze the bottle, we pressurise the liquid, the water flows up into that, through that little hole, into the pen lid on the inside, and it squashes up against that little bubble. Now, the only reason that's floating right now is because of the bubble in there. And for a bubble to keep it floating, the bubble has to be a certain size. And when we squeeze this bottle like this, the water flows up and squashes that bubble and makes it smaller. And you've got to remember, a bubble is full of air in this case, it's full of gases. And actually it's very easy to squash a gas into a smaller space. Your lungs are doing it right now. So when we use our hands here, we've got enough force easily in our hands to push the water up and squeeze that bubble and squash the gas into a smaller space. So in other words, the bubble gets a bit smaller. Problem now, of course, a smaller bubble isn't so good at keeping things floating. This pen lid now becomes too heavy and the whole thing sinks, even though the bubble's still there, but the bubble is just too small now to keep it floating. Of course, when I let go, I release the pressure that I had built up in the water. That little bubble, which is now pressurized, we've squashed it, so it's trying to open up again. It pushes the water back out, goes back to its original size, so the whole thing floats up again. So what other things could you try and see what happens? Well, how about making your pen lid so that when you're testing it in the jug of water, do you remember when we did that? Test it so that it just barely floats on the water. So when you put it in the bottle, it's only just sticking out a tiny bit. Do you remember that was sticking up a few millimeters, wasn't it? So put it in so it's just about floating, screw the lid on and see if you notice any differences to make it sink. Maybe set it so that when you put it in the bottle, it actually sticks out much further. Now think about it, to make it float a bit lower, we're going to have to put a bit of blue tack back on to make it heavier. To make it stick out even further, we're going to have to pull even more blue tack off to make it stick out of the water even more. Both times though, put the lid back on gently, push it down and give it a squeeze and see what you notice. How about you make more than one? So obviously you can make 2 or 3. I suggest just make 2 initially, and then perhaps a third one, and try and make them as best you can about the same. Put the 2 or 3 in the same bottle, put the lid on and squeeze and notice what happens to all 3. How about you try a different size bottle? Do you think that's important? This is a 2-litre bottle, remember? How about using something much, much smaller? So for example, a bottle maybe this big. Is it still going to work? How about that? How about doing it with less water, like this bottle actually has? So pour some of the water out. Now if you're going to do that, I recommend only pouring out a little at first. So maybe pour out about that much if you're going to use a big bottle. Then maybe pour out a little bit more, and so on. So make big differences, but only a little at a time, and see what that does. You could, I think, try different liquids. I've used water, but I wonder what would happen if we changed the water or put a totally different liquid in. So changing it, we could possibly maybe put salt in it or sugar. I wonder if that would make any difference. How about if you used oil instead of water, cooking oil? Maybe get a bottle of cooking oil, put it in a bottle of cooking oil and try it with cooking oil. Will it still work? That's another thing you can try, and I'm sure you can think of other things as well.